and welcome to another episode of Ask the Doc. I am your host, Jennifer Filzen, and today I have with me Joelle Rabow Maletis. She is the CEO and clinical supervisor of Joelle Rabow Maletis Associates in Mountain View, California. Welcome, Joelle.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm thrilled to have you. We talked offline, and I know that you have a background in ballet and West Coast swing. We both have been dance instructors. That's like super cool. But tell me about your business and how you help people.
Yeah, so I am a trauma expert, and I have clinics in California, Texas, and then several other states. We're located in Mountain View, California, not too far from you. And we work with all different kinds of trauma, complex trauma, PTSD, and we specialize working with military first responders, immigrants, and other people who have experienced pretty complex traumas.
Well, I grew up in Navy town. So I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida, which has Mayport and Naval Air Station Jacksonville. And then I'm here in Monterey with the Naval Postgraduate School. And then, of course, the Army Presidio, which has the Defense Language Institute. And you're right. And the first responders too, there are a lot of people experiencing trauma. How do you find these folks, or how do they find you? And then also, too, do you have any stories that you can share about how you've helped these people? There's so many suicides. There are so many suicides. Yeah. How are you helping them go away from that and find a happier place?
Yeah, all great questions. So we're one of very few in Northern California that takes military insurance. So we're in network with TRICARE and with the VA. So I'm also a community care provider for the VA. And so they find us typically that way. We also have some other referral networks that we're involved with for military specifically. And, it's interesting because I think a lot of people come and they're very hesitant about coming to therapy. And some of it is the, fear of backlash and promotion and what the diagnostic information will be. And then when they get into talking with my team, I've the best team ever, they find that it's helpful. And so sometimes it's really just starting with, let's have a conversation. We don't have to talk about PTS or diagnosis or even trauma. Let's just have a conversation of what's going on for you right now, and then what does that look like? And so for me, our focus is always trauma informed. And then we look at post-traumatic growth, this and so what, not and so what, who cares, but so what do we do with that, or what do we want to do with that? So really, I think it starts with a conversation. And then most of my clients, I'm one of very few that works with special forces, special operations teams. I'm attached to a few. And so I find that over the course of 6 months or a year, we've gone from let's just have a conversation to, hey, I'm really willing to talk about this thing that's bothering me, and we can start working on skills to manage the stress levels. And we find that really helps, just talking.
Oh, wow. I'm so glad that you brought that up. You're right. We've got these elite military personnel who are the badasses, right, of their branch of military, but they're also human beings. So they're tough, and they're tough mentally because they got through all that training and they do these amazing things. But still, I'm sure that they have some challenges when they come back home and they have to live a normal life after, being the military badass. I have a friend who is now retired, but being a first responder for the Valley Transit Authority in your area in Santa Clara County. And when someone would intentionally step in front of a train or a bus to end their lives, this person had to, deal with all of that and go through the whole process. But then also too, he would usually go over to a therapist afterward to kind of process that, right? So I'm so happy that you are serving this group. Oh my goodness. How do people find you? How do people see you? Are you doing it all virtually so they don't have to physically be where you are?
Yeah, so with COVID, we moved completely virtual like many practices did. And one of the interesting things is we found that as people were leaving one job and moving on to the next, so military typically have a 2 to 3 year rotation. They wanted to stay in therapy. And so that was a really interesting experience for me of, oh, now I'm licensed in all of these other states and I have teams in other states and we're sort of tracking clients. And now we've started to open up our offices a little bit. And we find that most people really want to stay online. They love the convenience, the privacy. They don't have to wait for me. I'm always late. And then we're seeing more children back in person again, which is really helpful. So we see not just military members, but we see their partners, spouses, and then their families and children. And we also see first responders as well. And it's very similar kinds of traumas. And again, traumas for the families, a lot of children that are separated for long periods of times from a parent. So we've started to do more in person, and I think it's just age dependent, to be honest.
Wow, you're doing such great work. I'm thrilled for you that you're working directly with the VA hospitals and with the groups that you're right, TRICARE. You're right. You're not many people are able to find that level of support. So thank you for being that person. Everyone, we've run out of time, but I don't know about you, but I'm so thrilled that we got a chance to know Joelle. And please, if you are interested in finding out more, go to Buzz TV, and that's at iwannabuzz.com, and you'll learn more about the great work that she and her associates are doing in California and Texas and other states. Again, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.